Hello, Father George Salzman of the Harvard Catholic Center. We're here in the farther part of Harvard Yard. We're in front of Emerson Hall. There's Seaver, the famous building of H.H. Richardson and so on. And right beyond there is Church Centenary Theater, where everyone crowds in for commencement. Bit of a rainy day, but we're handling it well. I wanted to talk about being oneself, being yourself. And because, our earliest schooling sets us to the same tasks at the same time, about the same things. And there are folk who even arrive at college sort of thinking that the same procedure will take place. But it's very important, obviously, to decide for oneself and think about things and learn what's inside and what talents and aptitudes and temperament one has, and to face that squarely. St. Francis de Sales, the great advisor and author of Introduction to Devout Life and master of spirituality, said centrally, be yourself and be that well, in order that you give glory to the master craftsman who created you. Be yourself, be that way, so you give glory to the master craftsman who created you. There's nothing wrong with individuality in the sense that you're simply taking what God has given you, where God has put you, the influences upon you, the other people who are your resources as well. And that's a masterful thing. To try to be somewhere else is almost not to be, or to be in an empty room. Now, Harvard College, in the first week, used to have a discussion at the end with faculty, or chaplains, and be subsets of students, small group, and it would be about 3 or 4 papers that they'd read. And they would be on community, and on toleration, for instance, and on individuality. And that's really the idea of becoming oneself. And the one on individuality was by a master, one of Harvard's most famous scholars, Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the title of his essay, which is always well worth, an invigorating essay to read, is Self-Reliance, embracing. Whosoever would be a man or woman must be a nonconformist. Nonconformity, the hobgoblin of little minds. The power that resides in us is new in nature, and none but we know what it is or what it can do, nor do we know it unless we've tried it. But then, even though we're all different and have different gifts, trust yourself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. So as you read further in the essay, the idea that just by being oneself, you bring to the table new things which everyone needs. Be yourself. Every heart vibrates to the iron string. Everyone recognizes the importance of that great task, that great walk in life. Speak your latent conviction, and it shall be the universal sense. Otherwise, tomorrow, a stranger will say with masterly good sense precisely what you thought and felt all the time, and you'll be forced to take with shame your own opinion from another. Not a bad point. So it's an essay that's a great bit of encouragement and gusto and wind at the back for people to become themselves, and for scholars to seek out that area that they'll cultivate in their own lives in the years ahead. Now, by the way, self-reliance isn't quite the whole story. And there's a story that hangs on that right here. Behind me is the philosophy building. It's Emerson Hall, speak of the devil. And so, speak of the genius. And the philosophy faculty who were housed there were asked by the president of Harvard, when it was a building, what inscription, what quote, what thought should be across, what apothegm should be across the top. And they took it from Protagoras, and Protagoras' line is a famous one. Man is the measure of all things. Man is the measure of all things. And so then when the scaffolding was taken down, they discovered their wonderment an even wider view. Psalm 8, what is man that thou art mindful of him? God bless you. Take care. All the best.